Okay, this is a redo. You have to watch my mouse because it kicks it off the page. So this is the last video. It has to do with the total destruction of the West Coast. It has to do with the sun coming up in the west. So we know that these visions are going to happen just before the pole shift. But the Lord is going to allow enough time. He's going to hold back the impending judgment and give people enough time, if the heat to actually to get away from the coast, right? And so when you see in the fifth vision, I believe it was, when the beast rose up out of the sea, that this will be the signal for everyone along the west coast. This be your heads up that you're just going to have a few hours or so to get away from the coast. That's going to be it. That's going to be your final warning. So in Vision 7, for the last time, the scene of the vision changed. And as the wave of the Spirit of God forced me on my opposite side, God allowed me to feel what it was like if Canada was a living person. It was as if a leg or arm had been cut off, leaving that person severely crippled. God had brought Canada to her knees in a matter of moments. So this is all along the west coast, all your big cities. They're all brought down. No longer was she whole. Judgment had come swiftly and without mercy for those who disobeyed his warning to flee to safety. In my spirit, I knew that much of the Alaskan and California coast had also been destroyed. Shortly thereafter, word had got out about me speaking this judgment against the West Coast. In the vision, I was being blamed for all the destruction and forced to flee my own country. The brother whom I had told to transfer his assets inland in Victoria flew me across the border in his private jet. In the spirit, I could feel the persecution and the hatred toward God's people. So this quake brought great persecution. The denominational church world was in shock as the so-called rapture teaching had not happened to save his people from the wrath of God. And persecution began to rise up within the cities, forcing many of God's people into the country for survival. In my spirit, I felt as if the great and terrible day of the Lord had finally come upon the world, and the church people who called themselves born-again believers were caught in a snare. As fast as the visitation came upon me, it left. Looking up at the clock on the sill of the window, it was approximately 6:45 a.m. So I was out in the spirit for 45 minutes. All my physical senses, along with all my spiritual senses, were awakened. I believe that I had already come into the early stages of walking as a manifested son. That's why in the visions I knew things. I knew in the spirit about people and places and all that. And it's coming. It can't be stopped. And I know that I'm going to meet my wife soon, and that we're going to go out and begin to minister at the end times. I haven't met her yet. She may be even be hearing these videos and might end up getting a call. That'd be nice. And it's been many, many years since I've had a companion. I've never been married. Waiting on the Lord. But in the vision, we were busy working, getting helping people to prepare. And I believe this is what the Lord's going to bring me into. This is already the start of it. That these cabins need to be perfected and need to work with professional people on it to get them, get the jigs and all that made. Get the first cabin completed so it can actually make the blueprints. And from there, the Lord would escalate the plans to where they could go out to people across North America. And while there's still material available in the lumber yards, because when all this stuff happens, with what Matt Smith was showing a few days before Christmas, this year is going to be one heck of a ride. And this may well be the fulfillment of these 7 visions. And in the visions, it wasn't until last spring that the Lord revealed that these visions are going to take place when the sun rises up in the west. And this precedes a pole shift. So it was already in the visions, and the Lord just held back the time on it. So last spring he gave me the heads up saying, it's coming, it's here. Nibiru is inbound. This is very close at the door. And you people that's hearing this, you need to contact me. This is going to happen. This is, thus saith the Lord. It is going to happen just the way it's been shared. But you have time, and you need about 3 months to prepare. So if there's a plan that could get out in a hurry, you people could prepare in 3 months along the West Coast. But you need to work with me. I need the Lord to bless my hands and to bless my ministry. This is the ministry that the Lord's given me to warn his people, to warn all peoples along the West Coast. This 9-point quake that's about to hit the West Coast is just a little wake-up call. And the Lord told me that knowing that when this 9.2 hits or whatever, it's going to cause heavy collateral damage. There's not going to be that much loss in life, but it's going to be heavy collateral damage. And the news media is going to rock you to sleep, and they're going to tell you, well, it's over, the big one's done. Don't believe them. Because when the pole shift happens, it's going to be a 13 or a 14. And this is what the Lord showed David Terrell, God's prophet to the world, showed him about the West Coast, that there's going to be a 13 or a 14. This is maybe a couple of years ago that the Lord revealed that to him. So it's coming. You can't believe man. You can't believe the news people. It's all controlled media. But you can believe God and you can believe his prophets. I'm not saying that I am one, but the Lord has called me to ring this bell and to ring it hard. And if I don't get this warning out, then the blood's going to be on my hands. I have to get it out. And there's no choice in the matter. But I want to get it out in love. That's the only way it's going to reach the people. People need to wake up. This is Joshua Taylor coming to you from Nanaimo, British Columbia, with this warning of the total destruction of the West Coast. It's imminent. You need to prepare. There is going to be revival. God's going to harvest souls. Now, I've seen the souls harvested from Vancouver Island before the destruction came. So I know there is going to be a revival, before the end comes. It's Joshua Taylor signing out.